Hey everyone, this is Andy at theguitarist.com, and in this video we are going to take a quick look at keys. Now it's going to be a relatively short video because there's really not all that much that we need to say about keys. We have previously covered notes and basic intervals and the major scale, and keys sort of roll out of that, and they give us what you might think of as being a shorthand way to understand a bit about the music that we're dealing with. So you'll hear keys described as one of a couple of things. You'll either hear them described as major or minor keys, and it's just got to be made clear that we very often shorten the name of a major key. So if we say something is in G major, we might just say it's in G. If it's in a minor key, we should always say it's in G minor. So G major and G should mean the same thing, and G minor tells you it's a minor key. All the key is, think of it as being a set of notes. So we looked at the major scale last time out, and we talked about the interval pattern of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So if we take the simplest possible major scale, which is C, the notes that you get by following that pattern, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, gives you C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And that's the reason that we always use C for these things, because it's got no sharps or flats in it for us to remember. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B is the notes that comes out of the C major scale. They are the same notes that you get in the key of C major or C. And all of the enharmonic, as they're called, chords in the key of C major will be built out of those notes. Now that gives us an interesting sort of set of patterns in itself, which we'll look at when we look at chords. But just thinking about it for a moment, if you think about a major chord, which is built on the 1, 3, can I do this? Yep, on the 1, 3, 5 of the major scale. So if you were looking at C, you go C, D, E, F, G. So C, E, G gives you a C major chord, which you'd expect, C major scale, C major chord. If you want to put some sort of a D chord in there, it's the same thing, it's 1, 3, 5, but it's using the same notes as you get in the C major scale. That gives you a D, E, F, G, A, so D, F, A. And D, F, A is not a D major scale, it's a D minor scale. Likewise, if you look at E, you get E, F, G, A, B. That's an E minor. And you get this pattern of major and minor chords that are built out of the building blocks of the notes in a key. You also get a diminished chord in there. So in explicit terms, what the key gives you is a bunch of notes. And as you start to work out from there, it gives you certain harmonic information as well about what you can expect. Now, for any major key, there is a relative minor key, and I'm going to explain that because this confuses people so much. We'll cover this in some depth when we look at modes, but if you take C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, if you take A minor, which follows a different pattern of intervals, so instead of being tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, a minor scale gives you tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, tone. So if you take that pattern and you start on the letter on the note A, you get A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. They're the same notes, but that is some sort of C scale and that is some sort of A scale. So are they the same thing? Well, they are in the sense that you've got the same bunch of notes. A is the relative minor of C. They are enharmonic. They've got the same sets of notes in them, but in a written piece of music, as against, say, playing exercises, you tend to, there's an ebb and flow that goes with music, and a lot of it is about building up and releasing tension. And what you will find is that the releases of tension will tend to come down on a certain set of kind of key notes or key chords within a C scale that they don't on an A scale. If you've ever looked at anything, say online or in a book or magazine that explains how to work out music by ear, it will probably say, listen to the first note or chord, and that's probably your key. And it's kind of true that if you get something and it starts off with a C major, it's probably going to be in C major as against A minor. There's no reason it would always be the case. You know, you could go out the moment you finish watching this and write a piece of music that starts in an A minor, but it's actually all in C. But as a general rule, it lies true. And you'll find that you get things which build up where you get sort of tensions in chords that then resolve down to the point where it'll go, oh yeah, that's where it's supposed to end up. And those are the points that tend to tell you whether you're dealing with the major or minor version. And you can usually just tell by the feel of a piece of music once you get your ears around it anyway. But yes, they are the same. If you've got a C major bucket and you've got an A minor bucket, they've got the same notes in them, but you tend to use them in slightly different ways. Now, the important thing to know about keys is this. Once the key gives you the building blocks, there is absolutely nothing that says that it's all you can use. And many years ago, when I first started with this stuff, I was either told or I read or I misunderstood something. I got something wrong. And I thought, if it's in C, that's all I'm allowed to use. And I would be trying to work a piece of music out. And then be going, well, it's got a C major, and then it's got a D major chord in it. It's like, no, it can't happen. You just can't do this. Yep, you can, absolutely. You can borrow chords from other places. You can do all sorts of things. You can bring notes in, you can throw notes out, you can hash things up. Music is meant to be creative, it's art. We're talking here about the science of music. We're talking about the technicality that if you are writing in C major, literally in C major, those are the notes you've got. But if you write a piece in C major, you can bring in anything else that you want to bring in. It's all about the flavors. It's all about the spice. It's all about the sweetness. It's about the little things that you throw in that catch the ear and go, ooh, ah. And the ooh, ah moments tend to come in when you do things which go outside of key, when you bring in extra elements and just make it a little bit more interesting. So, flattened sevens, dominant sevens, flat fives, things that don't belong in a natural key, but we're all used to hearing them all the time. So don't ever be afraid that you're being limited by a key signature. It used to be the case many, many years ago, well, maybe hundreds of years ago, that music would very often be composed in multiple keys. And we don't really do very much that's awfully sophisticated with that anymore. But what you will quite often hear is you'll get a song, let's say you get a pop song, and you get an intro, verse, chorus, breakdown and some description. And then when it comes in out the breakdown, the songwriter or the arranger wants the whole thing to have a lift to it. So what they do is they transpose it, they modulate, they just move it up, maybe a couple of semitones. They may move it from F major to G major or something like that. And all the chords and all the notes and all the melodies change, the notes of them change, but the relationships stay the same. And the whole thing just jumps, and it kind of gives your ear that sense of, oh, wow, that's new and fresh. It's like I'm listening to something new again. So, the rules are there to be broken. Do not over stress about keys. They're just really handy. When you're playing with other people and you've learned a piece and it's all centered around A and it's too high for the singer and they say, oh, can we do that in G? All you need to know is that you just move everything on a guitar down 2 frets and you're good to go. What it actually means a little more technically is that you're changing all of the notes in the box, in the bucket that you've got to work with, but all of the intervals and all the relationships stay the same. On a guitar, it's really dead easy to do. On something like a piano, it can be an absolute nightmare to do, and you have to respect piano players who can actually sight read and transpose keys at the same time. Those people are just, well, in my opinion, they're beyond the mortal pianist stage. They're into the gods territory. But keys for the rest of us, it's just a handy form of shorthand to understand the starting points that we've got. Okay, if you have not hit subscribe, please do. I really appreciate it, and it absolutely does make a difference. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments down below, or pop over to my Facebook music page. The link for that is down below as well. Stick any questions you've got on there and I will see if I can answer them. Happy to do that. I think next time out we're going to cover either chords or modes. Can't decide which order to do those in. But yeah, any questions, just shout me up and I'll do my best for you. This is Andy. This is themortalguitarist.com. Take care and I'll see you next time out. Bye.